Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cutting straight through the noise to unpack the actual reality of passive income. We're going to separate those truly lucrative working systems from the predatory, get-rich-quick internet scams out there. By diving into hard data and expert sources, we're mapping out exactly what works.
So, is true passive income just a myth? You've definitely asked yourself this. We've all been bombarded by those flashy ads promising thousands of dollars overnight for literally zero effort. And honestly, it makes total sense to be skeptical. But if we peel back all that marketing hype, there's a core truth here. Building a real, automated revenue system is entirely possible. You just have to understand the actual mechanics behind it.
Here's our agenda for today. First, we'll hit the passive income illusion. Then, digital assets that deliver, followed by maximizing yields and dividends. Next up, alternative investment strategies, and we'll wrap with the tax and tracking reality.
All right, let's jump right into part one, the passive income illusion.
Let's break down a classic example. We looked into this program called Income Team X, which promises this magical AI-powered trick to supposedly generate over $432 a day instantly. Well, what did we actually find? Synthetic AI voices, anonymous creators, and a bunch of hidden fees. The reality is, true passive income requires upfront effort to build scalable systems. It's definitely not instant. Based on verified ROI and real creator data, a realistic timeline is more like 6 to 12 months of solid work to start generating a reliable $1,000 to $5,000 a month.
And you know there's a highly predictable playbook these scams use. It's a calculated funnel. It always starts with the bait, usually some flashy social media ad. Then, you're pushed onto a high-pressure landing page filled with fake countdown timers to create false urgency. Next comes the seemingly harmless activation fee, usually around $37 to $67. But once you're inside, it's an empty promise filled with generic, recycled content. The real trap is the upsell gauntlet, which locks users into a cycle of unauthorized recurring charges. Honestly, just knowing this playbook is your absolute best defense.
Moving right along to part two, digital assets that deliver.
$250 billion. That massive figure is the projected size of the creator economy by 2025. It's a staggering number, and it proves that creating a valuable digital asset just once allows you to earn from it forever, totally on autopilot. The formula here is beautifully straightforward. You create something highly valuable, distribute it through established digital marketplaces, and basically let the system sell it for you while you sleep.
Now, the crucial thing to consider is your upfront investment. For instance, video-based online courses have a massive revenue ceiling. Top creators are pulling in tens of thousands a month, but they're really hard to make, taking maybe 2 to 4 months to see your first dollar. Compare that to things like Notion templates. The startup cost is low, the difficulty is medium, and you can see revenue in 1 to 2 months. Or take print-on-demand merchandise. It's very easy with a very low startup cost, though obviously you need high volume to make real money. The main takeaway? Align your strategy with your existing skills and the time you're actually willing to invest upfront.
Let's pivot to part three, maximizing yields and dividends.
Reinvesting dividends is mathematically inevitable wealth building. I know, it might not sound quite as glamorous as launching the next big tech startup, but you really can't argue with the math. If you build a diverse portfolio of dividend-focused ETFs yielding around 3.5 to 4%, you tap into the incredible compounding power of DRIPs, that's dividend reinvestment plans. Taking a $100,000 portfolio and reinvesting those dividends for 10 years at an 8% total return literally more than doubles your money to $215,000. It's a completely automated growth engine.
But here's the catch. To maximize these yields, you can't just guess your returns. You need a serious tracking system. Using an advanced platform like AllInvestView is a game changer here because it moves way beyond just tracking basic share prices. It gives you an automated dividend calendar, tracks your actual yield on cost, handles income projections, and fully supports tracking those drips we just talked about. If you want to treat passive income like a real business, having the right dashboard is absolutely crucial. Speaking of squeezing every drop of efficiency out of your portfolio, check out this brilliant feature called Auto Income. Platforms like Baraka offer this, and it lets you generate extra yield on assets you already own without selling a single share. Essentially, you temporarily lend out your securities to borrowers in exchange for monthly interest income, all while you still receive your regular dividends. It's a fantastic way to generate extra yield from an existing asset base.
Okay, let's jump into part four, alternative investment strategies.
As you step beyond public markets and into private allocations, you run into something called the J-curve. The Apollo Academy emphasizes that successfully navigating private equity means actively managing this hidden cost. See, when you commit capital to a private fund, it's not all invested on day one. It sits idle as uninvested capital during the initial ramp-up period, which temporarily drags down your overall performance. Getting a handle on this J-curve is essential so it doesn't eat into your returns.
Within these private markets, there's a massive ecosystem emerging called asset-backed finance, or ABF. This is being driven by structural shifts in bank lending. Basically, traditional banks are lending less and non-bank capital is stepping in to fill the void. This provides an incredibly broad and diversified opportunity set for private investment-grade credit, giving investors entirely new ways to generate reliable, passive yields outside the traditional portfolio frameworks.
Finally, bringing it all home with Part 5, the tax and tracking reality.
Let's look at the Australian Taxation Office guidelines. Now, don't just view this as dry local tax code. Think of it as a universal playbook for wealth preservation. If you're serious about passive income, you need a rigorous governance checklist. You must maintain a central document repository. You need to verify things like 45-day holding rules for franking credits, meticulously track Division 40 depreciation, and correctly quantify Division 43 capital works deductions. It's non-negotiable.
Proper tax governance essentially means meticulous administrative tracking. You have to clearly separate deductible maintenance from capital additions and rigorously reconcile your accounting data with your tax returns. Governance isn't just some afterthought you do once a year. It's the structural foundation that ensures your passive income remains a permanent, lasting asset rather than just a temporary windfall.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought. We've established that true passive income is not a myth, but it's a rigorous system built on upfront effort and strict governance. You know how to spot the scams, you know the power of digital assets, and you understand how to maximize yields. The tools are out there waiting for you. So what will your first digital asset be?